Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are reviewing the Pinpoint from Nerf. This is one of their new N-Series blasters, and yeah, this is the magazine fed kind of primary sniper class blaster. So yeah, we're going to get into the review, go over the features and functionalities, how it works. We'll take it over the chronograph and get some FPS readings for you guys, and then we'll take it out on the range and get some precision tests and go over all that information at the end in the overview. If you guys missed the original review we did of the agility, this little sidearm, that was the first review we did. Definitely go back and check that out if you missed it. Do go over a lot of information in regards to kind of the Nerf N1 dart and what that means a little bit for the hobby. I will be going into a little bit more detail in its dedicated video, not suitable for a review, but I do go into it a little bit. I try to edit as much of that out, but there's some good information in there, so if you want that, I'm going to try and keep that out of this review, so this one doesn't end up being an hour long. But yeah, definitely check out that video after this one, and yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right into the functionality of this blaster. Again, this is the Pinpoint, kind of like I said, that sniper class blaster. This is a ages 8+ toy, so I'm fully aware that I am a 40-year-old or almost 40-year-old reviewing children's toys, but I do in fact have a 7-year-old. I also have a 3-year-old and a 13-year-old. So I feel like getting their input as well is kind of vital to a review of this blaster. So we'll definitely be talking with Eli, my eldest son, and then Sawyer, my 7-year-old. I'll get their input and their first impressions of it. And then during the comparison video that is coming out later in a week or two, I'll actually put them in front of the camera, and then they can talk to you guys and give you their unbiased opinion as when it comes to this new blaster line. So anyway, let's talk about the functionality of this blaster, shall we? So it does come in two pieces. You've got the main blaster and this kind of faux barrel. Once you attach the faux barrel, it doesn't come unattached, so it's not like In-Strike or anything like that. It clips in, and the only way to get it off is by unscrewing everything, taking it apart, butterflying it out, and then pinching the actual muzzle, if you will. I don't want to call it a barrel because it's huge. I do enjoy the way this barrel or this muzzle looks, to be honest with you. I like the way that looks. I know functionally it doesn't serve a purpose. It actually possibly negatively impacts performance because your dart is flying from back here into kind of like an open space, and it's the barrel drag is a very likely thing. It does offer a top tactical rail, although really the only thing that you could put on there is a front iron sight, which would be kind of nice because the rear iron sight isn't too hateful. You can't really shoulder it very well, but because of the short stock, but I'm sure an 8-year-old would have a little bit better time getting that kind of shouldered. But a kind of foresight, front sight to correspond with the reticle that's right here would be kind of a good thing, you would have thought. There is no rail on the bottom, which is unfortunate because with this being the sniper class, having like a bipod option would have been really cool. The priming mechanism is a side prime, this bolt action right here. So you pull back and then push all the way forward, and that will chamber a dart. And then you pull the trigger and a dart will theoretically fly out if you have the 10-round magazine installed. Magazine only fits one way. It cannot fit backwards. The way you know this is if you see this little nub notch here, that tells you where to put the notch from the dart. You can load these darts backwards. It's a pain in the butt to get them out, especially if you have multiple in there. The easiest way I've found is by just simply pressing the side buttons here that releases the tension on the top dart. if you've got it in straight. If you don't have it in straight, or it's buckled or something like that, then you're going to be fishing, you know, darts out, and then they're going to be all damaged. So just make sure that you load those in properly. And that is, again, you know, you've got your tab of your dart that goes in the kind of slot in the actual magazine. We're just going to load up 4 darts here, and I will tell you right off the rip, the magazine's nice because you don't have the feed lips above, so you don't have to do the, you know, slide it in and then push it down type of thing. You just push it down. I will tell you that pushing it down in the center will damage your darts. I don't know if you can see that in my above, but like you can see that I'm already deforming that dart. Pushing it in like this is definitely going to be the way to go. The darts have been designed hollow on the inside, but the rubber tip gives you a little bit of cushion, and then the foam plug on the back end here gives you a little bit of cushion to push on. So that gives you a firm insert of the dart into the magazine. 10 rounds only. You definitely can try to squeeze in 11, but again, you're crushing that dart. You insert the magazine like so. No flared magwell, but it does go in smooth. It's not super tight. It locks in. The way the magazine is created is that first dart, once it's in, gets pushed up to the top, and then when you chamber the neck, when you pull back on the priming bar, the next one automatically pushes up. So we'll go ahead and pull back and then push all the way forward. There is a little click on the last like 10 millimeters, and you have to push it home, and then you just pull the trigger, just like so. And then no auto return on the priming rod. Did you hear that little click? Yep. If you don't do that, like that right there, she won't fire. You have to push it all the way and get that last little click, just like that. If you short stroke it like that and then try to go forward, it won't let you. You have to go all the way back and then all the way forward. There are locks in place to stop you from technically double feeding, although somehow Sawyer was able to double feed a dart. I'm not sure how he did that. There is an unjamming button, so this will let you prime again. I will confirm he did not press that button to double feed a dart. I still don't know how he did that. So if you're jammed or whatever, you can't get it, pulled all the way back or forward or whatever, you can press this and that'll unlock those mechanisms inside. You do have a jam door that is tied to the priming rod, so you won't be able to open the jam door while the bolt is closed, so you will have to prime that back to open that. You can see the darts that are getting loaded, and once you start to close it, you'll see the window shut, so you can't smash your fingers in there. The trigger pull is kind of snappy. It's got a little bit of a wall, but once you pull it, that's when it actually will release, so you can kind of a little squishy, and then there's a clear wall to where the catch is, and once you get through that, there's just a little bit more, and then it lets the dart go. You've got a single mag release. It's a paddle style, so they'll be using their thumbs to get that out of there. And this is the initial issue with this type of magazine versus the one that has the exterior lips on the magazine is, if you have any darts in your magazine whatsoever that aren't chambered, when you pull it out, you're likely to lose at least 1, maybe 2 darts inside there. So make sure you go through the entire magazine, or be ready to pull a dart out of your magwell. Up top, we have a fixed scope, which is really just kind of like a rear iron sights. It's not too hateful for the age group, so I'm not gonna get too nitpicky. But again, there's really nothing to line it up with. So here I'm aiming at the doorknob, and here I'm still aiming at the doorknob. So there's clearly, that's probably going to be about right. But having a front iron sight would definitely fix that 100%. You line up this spot with this spot, and now you're shooting true. Moving back, you have a thumbhole stock that is not adjustable. But for an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, heck, even a 7-year-old Sawyer, held this again, kind of held this pretty well against himself. He's still pretty new to the priming action of this type of blaster, but I think with a little bit of practice, he'll be able to, definitely get that, shouldering of this type of blaster down. So yeah, so the blaster comes with 18 darts, so you can fill your 10-round magazine once, and then 8 rounds. So I'm not sure really why they didn't give you 20. Who knows? I have no idea. The bolt does come off, which is nice. So you can just twist and you can pull it off. And so it'll lay flat, which is great. It is a metal bolt, so no worries about plastic breaking, at least with this part. That does go into plastic on this end. So again, metal into plastic, there is going to be some wear and tear there, but overall having a removable metal bolt is much better than the alternative, at least in my opinion. But yeah, so that is the functionality of the blaster and how it works. Yeah, let's go ahead and put it over the chronograph, take it out on the range, and get some plinking in. So let's take a look, guys. All right, next up we have the Pinpoint N1 darts. We've got 10 and 10. We're at 25 feet, aiming dead center with the included scope. Where did that even go? All right, guys, we are back in from the range, and the Pinpoint, there's some good and there's some bad. So let's jump right in, and we'll start off with the FPS readings and go from there. So as far as the FPS goes, testing-wise, we use brand new darts, 20 brand new N1 darts, never been shot before, unmodified blaster. Obviously, we're going to get a good kind of good line for what this is going to do in its stock form, and then if we do modify it, then we'll come back and we'll add those numbers in. You can check out all of our review video, review blasters in our master list. There's a Google document that's in the description that will show you every blaster that we've reviewed, every shot, every upgrade video that we've ever done. There's even some blasters that we haven't done reviews or upgrade videos for, just for my my morbid curiosity. So you can, filter it and change, kind of parameters and what you're looking for and stuff like that. Whole bunch of different tabs for each different blaster and modification. Definitely check that out if you haven't yet. But all those numbers will be going into that for your guys' enjoyment or lack thereof enjoyment. But let's go ahead and jump into the FPS numbers here. So just kind of like with the agility, the Pinpoint's got a pretty good standard deviation. That's the one thing that was consistent between the two blasters. And I know this isn't a comparison one, but the new line, or at least with these two blasters, standard deviation, before was, I think, just under 4, and then this one just over 4 at 4.1. I'm impressed. That's really good. Stock elite, especially if you consider this blaster has a, adds twice the length with a faux barrel. We didn't do any testing without the barrel. If we do a follow-up video, maybe I'll do that, but I thought, for the age range, the kids are going to want to play with this on here, so I wanted to get that portion on it. This is by no means a competitive level blaster, so normally with those type of blasters, we wouldn't include any type of muzzle, so like for the Nexus Pro, we didn't include the muzzle on our testing because it's a faux muzzle. The only thing it can possibly do is hurt the performance of a competition, quote unquote, level blaster. This is meant for 8-year-olds. They want to play with the sniper class blaster. So we're going to put the muzzle on the front. Maybe an upgrade video, maybe we'll see what we can do. I would love to put a real barrel in here and 3D print something for the end so that it keeps the barrel in. Maybe a future video. I'm kind of curious if we can rebarrel this for short darts and really make her sing. Or maybe we just use this one to go full barrel. I don't know if the N1 darts would be good for a compression barrel. We'll see. So back to the results. I digress. High FPS of 88.5 and an average of 82.6. So we're not hitting the the 90 FPS reading. Again, brand new darts. We're not hitting that. So the Nerf Elite 2.0 darts or Nerf Elite darts are hitting roughly 70 FPS. So we're getting a 12 FPS increase. That's not what we want. That's really not what we want. Yeah, that's oh god, that's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. So I know, like I said, this isn't a comparison video, but I want to do a little bit of comparison between this and the Agility Blaster. I know these are two different classes of blasters. They're two different styles. This is a cylinder-fed blaster. This is a magazine-fed top prime with probably what I would assume is a larger plunger tube. I'm not sure. I haven't opened them up yet, so I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming the internals are very similar, just the mechanisms that are, firing the dart is different. But there really isn't much difference between the two. You've got a standard deviation is, within margin of error. Average FPS is, again, margin of error. Just over 2 FPS difference between the two. Near identical lows. Almost 2 or 3 on the high FPS, so they're really the exact same. Like, these two blasters function the exact same way, and that's kind of worrisome for me, because you would think that the sniper class blaster would fire a little bit harder, and they got the consistency down. Like, that's fantastic, but like, why would I run something large like this if this is just as consistent and hits the exact same? This is cheaper than this. I don't know what to say. Like, ugh. This holds more darts, which is a plus. That is a plus. But I can top load this in the middle of a game. So give me a dump pouch and, like, this I have to pull the magazine out and hope that it's empty. Or have an additional magazine. Come on, Hasbro. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over to the precision testing. And this does not make any sense. The sniper class blaster is less precise than the sidearm blaster. You heard me right. This is not as accurate or have as high as precision as this. Not only did this blaster not have a good spread, but this blaster was firing into the dirt at 25 feet. That is so frustrating, especially for a young kid that wants to purchase this blaster because they see the kid on the box is like, yes, sniper, bang, bang, bang. And come to find out, you got to be within 10 feet to hit the thing you're shooting at. That's so frustrating. And then you have this little thing, which can shoot 20 feet and hit what you're aiming at. And it doesn't have any type of sights on it. This is so backwards and so frustrating. The spread was worse. The spread, this is probably an elite style spread, for about 4 feet. And like I said, several shots falling out of frame into the dirt, not even making it to the fence. So this isn't like a, You know, you can't see the grass or anything in this picture, but like it's not even making it there, you know, 2-3 feet short. So you're telling me that, you know, I don't even know what to say. I'm so sorry. So the idea that this is classified as a sniper, I don't want to say classified as sniper, but it definitely has that type of look to it. That's the first thing that my 7-year-old said is, "Ooh, I like the way that one looks." They're buying it for looks, and then they're taking it home and they're realizing, oh, this thing is just not very good. So then they put that down because they were all excited about it and it just doesn't work for them. And then they pick something up like this, and then they're like, oh, this is much better, but I don't feel like the sniper. So they're not as excited about that type of role playing that the kids are into. So yeah, again, with the same thing with the, like I said, with the agility, I think extreme performance, extreme distance, oh God, I about threw up in my mouth. Extreme speed and extreme accuracy. I think those marketing, all that's gonna do is add fuel to the fire. We already make fun of Nerf Elite darts because they're so inaccurate. But at the end of the day, they had a better dart, designed, what was it, 2017 with the Nerf AccuStrike line. Like, that was a clear winner in the ecosystem of that 50 caliber dart. Just bring that back. They said that these darts, these N1 darts, were created and, went through testing and development for over 2 years, and it's like you already had the answer. Just add those 2 years to that and bring it over here so I can use the magazines that I've been collecting for the past decade. I'm so frustrating. I'm so frustrated. This, without a doubt, does not warrant a new ammo A, doesn't warrant a new ammo type. B, does not warrant discontinuing the Nerf Elite dart. Please, oh God, Dart Zone, if you're listening, do not correct course. You are on the right path. Do not correct course. This is not the standard we want. I'll get off my soapbox. All right, let's go over to my final thoughts. So optimal range is, I'm going to say 15 feet or less. The agility, I said 20 feet or less. This is this is 15 feet or less. You're talking about a basketball hoops furthest away. And the problem that I see with that is, with an average FPS of 82.6, you're starting to get within that range of like, okay, I'm going to shoot you with a dart at 100 feet per second at point blank range. And it's marketed towards kids. Yeah. I'm not saying that an 80 FPS dart is going to hurt or anything like that, and the joules and the size of the diameter of the dart and the science behind it is going to warrant that type of activity. But when you make a blaster that's only accurate up to 10 to 15 feet, that's what kids are going to do. They're going to get close and shoot their friends at point blank range. And when you don't include eye pro in the box, when the box says use eye protection when using blasters, you leave a lot in the air. You really do. All this talk about safety regulations and safety laws, there's no eye protection in the box. That's just marketing garbage from someone that's like, oh yeah, we need more reason to make more money from our... Oh, I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm done. This is so frustrating. 100% frustrating. So I'm not going to go over the same notes that I went over with the agility. You can get all that information in that video. I'll link it in the description. Just some initial thoughts from Sawyer and Eli when they got their hands on this particular blaster. Sawyer's gut reaction, his first reaction to this blaster was, and I quote, "This one is like a sniper." His eyes lit up so big. He was so excited. He struggled with the prime a little bit, and he still does. I can't tell if that's because of his age and strength, or he does have a broken arm right now, so his cast is probably impacting his grip a little bit. So he is struggling a little bit. I caught him double-handing the thing, so putting it against his chest and pulling it back with both hands. I'm assuming once the cast comes off, he'll be able to prime it without a problem. We're going to work on it a little bit more with him. But he was so excited to see this blaster, and it really warmed my heart. And I was just like, oh, just wait till you start firing it. You're going to be so disappointed. I will say that once he fired it, he was like, oh, that wasn't too bad. Like, as far as like the, you know, the sound and the power behind it. He was just shooting at the wall or whatever, so he wasn't aiming at anything. But his gut reaction to, you know, to the look of it was like, that looks really cool. Like, okay, sweet. Eli, on the other hand, had a completely different experience. He did say it looked cool. As far as like the aesthetics go, I feel like it, you know, it does look neat. I think the front end does, you know, more for the blaster than this half, but he quickly went to, oh, that's a different magazine. And then I showed him the dart, and he's like, wait a minute, like, this dart is huge. Like, so we're not going to be able to use our current magazines and our current darts? And I was like, no. He's like, well, that's a no-go. That was his exact reaction. Well, that's no good. And I'm like, out of the mouth of babes. So, while he was playing around with this one, he did see, spoiler alert for the comparison video, he did see the Elite 2.0 blasters, and this was really kind of his first introduction to those like the modulus type of blasters, where they've got the front end and the stock and the scope are completely removable and interchangeable. He's like, he really kind of gravitated towards that. So I'll be interested to see performance-wise if the 10 to 12 FPS and the horrible, you know, accuracy and precision makes up for no type of, you know, anything. I would think that they would have learned and would have been like, hey, that's very popular with kids. Let's make this removable. Let's make, you know, let's make modulus again. So yeah, so that was their first impressions. I will we'll definitely be bringing them on for the video where we compare this blaster to the Elite 2.0 counterpart, so like the Eagle Point and the Echo, I think, for this one. I want to get their reaction. I'll put them on camera so you can see their reaction. You don't have to take my word for it, but I have no reason to lie to you. But yeah, we'll look at that. So in the meantime, let's talk about what I like about this blaster. I really dig the faux barrel. I think this is a really sharp looking front barrel. For the kids, they really liked it, and I couldn't agree more. The one thing that I thought of was, hey, it would be really sweet if you had a barrel that was going through the middle and make this a compression fit, and, you know, really kind of maximize the spring and the air volume that's in that plunger tube, and really have some fun. You know, the long shot from the Elite line was one of the most heavily modded blasters, and I don't see why this couldn't be a similar case. And while this barrel isn't removable, or is not meant to be removed, it still has some really nice cutouts where you can put like a different color barrel, so either, you know, silver or blue, or, you know, some different color in there to really kind of shine through. I think that'd be really sick. So modability, I'm not really 100% sure, but that's something I would like to do. And yeah, the low standard deviation is another plus. You know, I talked about it with the agility. That's just something that I think needs to happen. Like, I think the blaster should be tested, and if it's not, you know, standard deviation is in double digits, you need to go back to the drawing board. Even with, you know, kids at this range, you know, 8+, they're starting to get a little bit more competitive. They're starting to play a little bit more like objective style games. They're wanting to do those type of things, and less likely to just want to run out and shoot their friends. You know, the smaller kids, you know, the smaller, you know, the what is it, the Easy Play and the Nerf Junior line and things like that with the smart AR system, you know, we can expect some, you know, higher standard deviation with those. Although I've been told that the new air restrictor system is better for those type of systems. So I'm curious to see what they're like. But, you know, just know that those younger grades don't really care. You know, they want the dart to fly out, but they don't know the difference between, you know, an 80 FPS and a 70 FPS dart. So, you know, double digits really isn't that bad. They just want to make sure the dart comes out. Does the blaster operate? So anyway, those are my 2 likes about this blaster. And now to the laundry list of things I would have changed. Top rail all the way through. Why not? Why is this a thing? Why is there 2 attachment points here? What are you possibly going to put here? A front iron sight would be great. Should have included that in the box. This detachable would have been fantastic. So you could put this on a different blaster or put one that you like on this. This is compatible with old Elite style blasters. So if you've got a front iron sight that you'd like to add on there, go wild. I would love to see a bottom tack rail. This is the sniper class blaster after all. What sniper is not complete without a bipod, right? You need a bipod. Play that role right. Get down in prone position, pop out your bipod, and just wait for somebody to poke their head out. Pow! I alluded to it earlier. I think any blaster that comes with magazines, I don't care how big they are, needs to come with 2. I will give you one exception. Drum magazines, you don't need 2 of those. With the one that has 40 rounds in it, we don't need 2 of those. You can sell those separately. That's perfectly fine. I don't know what 8-year-old is going to run around with another belt blaster on them or a drum. That's not a thing, but they will run around with extra mags. They absolutely will. Sawyer does. So, yeah, that's just a must. In my opinion, every company, 2 magazines. End of story. Smoother Prime. This is not only for him at 8 years old struggling with this. I don't know if I left it in the if it was within the first 5 shots, but I struggled getting this. Oh yeah, you got to have the magazine in, I think. Actually, do you have to? Oh no, you don't. Nice. So I struggled to get this right the first few times I shot this, and I would always end. There's a latch right here. You can feel it. Really? Right there. And you have to pull the trigger to unlock it, but there is a little. Come on, really? There's a little space right here when you start to pull back. Right, oh, come on, right there. And if on the return, if you don't make it past that lock, you can't fire the blaster. So there is so much resistance right there, and then all the way back. That's just, for an 8-year-old, is too much to ask. For an adult trying to memorize, like, okay, click, 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 4 clicks back, click, 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 3 clicks forward, like, oh, and don't forget the final nudge, is just frustrating. Like, I understand that they have to have locks in place and they can't have the jam door open up or anything like that. Like, just make it easier. Like, there's no reason for that to be that difficult, especially for 8-year-olds. I already talked about the plunger tube and all that jazz, you know, in the agility, so I won't get into it here, but having a big, I'm assuming there's a bigger plunger tube. That's how they're getting a higher FPS with this dart, albeit only 10. But can't help but think, like, hey, if we had the same caliber dart, just a little bit better technology, like the AccuStrike line, what kind of FPS were we getting and what kind of ranges we're getting? Who knows? All right, so I'm going to end it there. I don't want to get too frustrated. I can feel my blood pressure rising. I think my watch is telling me the exact same, just that, yeah. My watch is telling me my blood pressure is getting high. So I'm going to end it there. You can tell that I'm not pleased with this line. I'm not pleased with, you know, the progression, the customer progression with the different age groups of Nerf and where it's going. They had a really special thing with the Elite line where it was, you know, the Elite Junior or the Easy Play. And then you kind of leveled up to like the Dino Squad was a little bit, you know, close, you know, in between there. I know it's still Elite 2.0, but Dino Squad kind of bridged that gap to get kids into the Elite 2.0. And I know the Elite 2.0 line was garbage, but you could definitely improve on specific things in that line to make it more attractive for 8-year-olds. And then you have like kind of the alternate ammo types like the like Rival, and you know, kind of bridging that gap from the 8+ to the 14+, where then they have the short 50 caliber darts with the Nerf Pro line. It was such a great roadmap going from infant, brand new Nerfer who doesn't have any money and their parents are buying their blasters, to a kid that's saving their birthday money and Christmas money for a certain set of blasters, to a kid that has their first job and is like, hey, I want a Rival Charger or challenge. I want a Rival Challenger, and I want to modify it and learn to modify it and up, you know, get it up to 2S or 3S LiPo battery, all the way up to, you know, teenagers with Nerf Elite, or I'm sorry, Nerf Pro. It was such a great package. Some would say perfect. You just had a few things that you had to correct. You didn't need a full new dart caliber ammunition. You really didn't. You really didn't. So there's that. Anyway, guys, you hear my thoughts. You heard my thoughts. Do not buy these blasters. Wait to see what happens. At the very least, look to Dart Zone, look to Worker, look to Adventure Force. I know that's the same as Dart Zone. Look to who makes the Easy Fire blaster. I can't remember the company's name, but look to them. You know, there's just so many other alternatives out there that this is not necessary. And the one thing that I'm worried about, and I'll talk more about this in the comparison video, is I'm worried that when Nerf makes a change and they hold the lion's share of the market, that it's just going to take one of those other companies, X-Shot. It's going to take Dart. I don't think it'll be Dart Zone. I really don't. God, please. It's going to take one of those companies to say, you know what, we need to jump ship. We need to, you know, this is the new standard. That's what the kids are buying. 50 caliber darts are a thing of the past. It's going to take one of those companies to switch, and then you're going to see a massive switch in the market. And I don't think that's a good thing. I really don't. This is not a good thing. Don't purchase these blasters. Wait to see what happens. See if they improve. If they improve, then, you know, by all means, it could definitely be a thing. But the way Dart Zone's looking, you know, they're coming out with new blaster types all the time. They've got some really great offerings, you know, that haven't been released yet, that they've, you know, teased and all that stuff. So there's a lot of good stuff out there. And we're just getting into the thick of it. So I would hold off on this line if you can. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you liked the video, make sure you leave us a thumbs up, a comment. You know, if you've got these blasters, if you're getting a different feeling than I am, I want to hear about it. Like, we can all be, you know, civil adults in the comments. If you like them, I like the way this blaster looks. But yeah, definitely leave a comment down below. I'll leave a link over here to the agility review, so if you haven't seen that, you can check that out. There's also unboxing videos, all that good stuff for all these blasters. Stay tuned for the comparison video, and we will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.